Today's American Story with Bob Dotson comes from Shelburne, Nova Scotia, a little town on the east coast of Canada.
Our fight for independence helped build the place, and they're planning a pretty big party, but for different reasons.
While we're celebrating our independence, these Canadians are marking a milestone too.
To the King!
225 years since the Americans who lost the Revolutionary War fled to their little village.
It's all the same names, it's all the same faces, it's all the same history.
Prime and load.
53 American regiments fought alongside the British during the Revolution. Who knew? At war's end, some sailed away to Canada. Eventually, 100,000 of those Loyalists left the country, floating to an uncertain fate.
Right into the 30-knot wind now.
King George offered a powerful incentive for them to go to Nova Scotia.
True.
The people who fought a war over taxation were offered a tax break.
Bring her in, sir. These ladies can't fly.
Most of them expected homes to be here, land to be prepared, but none of that happened.
They stayed aboard ship. Well, some of the women, they wouldn't even come ashore. Not until it was ready for my lady.
They faced their first Canadian winter living in tents. So surveyors quickly laid out an exact replica of the place some of them had left, Philadelphia. Overnight, Shelburne became the fourth largest city in North America. Barely 2 years after the American Revolution, another brigantine arrived in Canada, bearing a battle-scarred man walking with a slight limp. Everyone knew his name. You do too. That's his great-great-great-grandson over there, the closest living relative to Benedict Arnold.
Oh, a traitor, eh?
For Steve Arnold, history does not flow back into the past. It is always around him.
There isn't a sitcom that hasn't taken a pot shot at Benedict Arnold.
Even Homer Simpson tried to pass himself off as the old turncoat.
Benedict Arnold!
The same Benedict Arnold who plotted to surrender West Point to the hated British? Down!
Has history been too tough on Benedict?
The biggest history lesson is that there's more to the history.
The British gave Benedict a deed to nearly 15,000 acres in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
He set up stores, warehouses, even managed, with middlemen, to sell goods in the United States. Within 15 months of his arrival, he was the most successful trader in the colony.
But controversy followed him to Canada. When the British Army pulled out, the economy took a tumble, and Benedict went broke. He hounded his neighbors to pay their bills, and once again became the most hated man in the country.
By giving people credit, he was just setting himself up.
Benedict left his son, Steve's great-great-granddad, to look after things, and sailed back to England, where he died penniless.
It's amazing that Benedict Arnold stands at the crossroads of so much American and Canadian history.
He had a huge impact in history.
Benedict left behind an astonishing legacy. Today, 10% of Canada's population, 3.5 million people, are direct descendants of Americans who lost our fight for independence. They might never have left if Steve's great-great-great-grandpa had his way.
He's a naughty boy.
So we are all family, on both sides of the border.
Without question.
And it's no, nay, never.
For today, Bob Dotson, NBC News, with an American Story in Shelburne, Nova Scotia.
Who knew?
Fascinating history lesson. Still ahead, Giada's going to add a little Italian touch to your 4th of July feast.
Plus, a repeat performance from country music superstar Kenny Chesney. But first,